My name's Mark DeLucia. I've been a Les Mills RPM instructor for 6 years. I've been an RPM trainer for 5 years. Outside of Les Mills, I'm an avid cyclist and triathlete. I take my racing serious, and I take my cycling very serious, and I take a lot of pride in it as well. What we do in RPM is we try to take the outdoor ride and we try to model that indoors as best as we can. So we have a lot of different terrains, a lot of different paces that we use to really mimic what we do on the outside. And me being a cyclist, that's what I connect to in the RPM ride.
All right, I see a couple more cars. We're gonna try and beat them though. Working low, challenge yourself. Aero brake, go! Chest up. All right, little congested. Let's go lead right. Brace the core. Come back up.
It didn't change the RPM program, but it definitely enhanced the ride today. It felt very fluid. Being able to move like a cyclist on the bike just adds that extra layer of connection to the workout and to that outdoor feel that we try to promote here with RPM. We are working harder with these bikes. I mean, it takes a little more core engagement, takes a little more upper body to really move with the bike and hold the turns.
Let's feel those bikes. Let's veer right now, veer right. Engage, look when you veer. Straighten up. Veer left. Not bad, right? Come back to center. Don't worry, you're not going to fall off the bike.
I was able to ride on this bike. I was able to preserve the RPM coaching model, and I looked at our profile, and I just chose certain spots within our profile that I could integrate the extra features of the RealRyder. And we're not freestylers. We can't just throw in, our own stuff. So I took the profile for RPM 56, what we did here today. I went track by track, and I said, all right, where can I fit in the extra dimensions of the RealRyder, but not stuff it down, not without stuffing it down their throats. I put our coaching model first, and then added the RealRyder coaching second. So I think that's a good formula to start with as an RPM instructor.
All right, I want to hear you on the lift. A little bit of attitude. Turn it, burn it. Ah!
A lot of the participants had never been on a RealRyder, and within the first 3 tracks, I mean, I think people felt more comfortable with it, and they weren't afraid to to lean. Because I remember when the very first time I got on the RealRyder, I was like a little hesitant to kind of move, but like once you get the feel for it and you know how it moves underneath you, then it's a pretty quick learning curve, pretty quick curve. We get a lot of questions like, hey, can we use the computer display while teaching RPM? This is kind of the same thing as, can we use RealRyder to teach RPM? Yes, you can. It's a secondary tool though. You coach the model that we coach first, and then integrate that secondary computer display or the features of the RealRyder. So that's kind of how I've approached it, and when I was developing my script for my coaching today.